Yo, what up? So today we're going to be reacting to Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime performance. And yes, it is Rihanna.
It is Rihanna.
I learned that this week. Rihanna has been all in the news this past week. Ever since her performance, it has been actually kind of wild. And most of the coverage of her is actually rather negative. I have seen articles from just about every major media outlet talking about whether or not she was lip syncing. People don't seem to like this halftime performance very much. I think that people are being a little bit too harsh on the girl. However, like the rest of you at home, my first time watching this, I was a little bit confused as well. Is she singing? I can't really tell. It wouldn't be the first time somebody lip synced at the Super Bowl, and it certainly wouldn't be the last time either, which made me very curious because I know a lot of times these very big TV performances, there's producers behind the scenes doing all sorts of trickery to make things sound a certain way, especially at the Super Bowl. Like, for example, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, when they performed at the Super Bowl, they weren't allowed to play their instruments. There are sections where she is lip syncing it in, 100% straight up. However, although Rihanna does lip sync several times throughout this performance, I don't think her lip syncing sins are as egregious as many people think. The problem when it comes to the TV performance is you're hearing almost all of the backing track. So you don't hear the parts where she stops singing for a second and lets the backing track take over because she's doing some dancing or maybe she needs to catch her breath. By the way, obviously, she's very pregnant in this. And something that I didn't know, and I think a lot of people also didn't know, is that it was only about 2 months ago or something, she admitted in an Instagram post that she even knew that she was pregnant in the first place. The dancers didn't know she was pregnant. One of the number one criticisms of this performance is that it's low energy, along with the lip syncing thing, which we're gonna get into. But I just want this to be addressed before we get into this. I think that she's low energy because she's pregnant. And actually, I have some evidence for this as well, because the original choreography is very different from the choreography she did at the actual halftime. So they really had to like change things up last second to get things to fit. And 2 months or whatever is not enough notice to call in another artist. So that's really not an option. Also, if Rihanna's perfectly capable of doing it, why not? Especially because her performance actually has gotten almost as many views as The Weeknd's halftime performance, which was 2 years ago. I think it's like Rihanna's has 50 million right now. The Weeknd's got 54. She's doing what she needs to do. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we got that out of the way. We're gonna be analyzing a video of someone sitting in the actual Super Bowl audience because I think we can hear her vocals a lot better. And we're going to compare it to what was televised, and we're gonna see if there are any differences. And the hint here is I think that there are. And that's when she's singing Umbrella and Diamonds being lifted up super high in the air all by herself. Something else to note, sorry for interrupting you, Rihanna. She is way older than when she recorded this. Also, she has gone through one pregnancy and is now going through another pregnancy. And pregnancies tend to make your voice a little bit deeper, at least temporarily. So regardless of why it's happening, her voice is deeper now. We heard that in the last song that she put out, which I made a video on. You should check that out if you're interested. But her voice is deeper now. So that's something to listen for as well if you're trying to like really pick out the live part of her vocals here, because she is also singing with a backing track, even in the live version. Really listen for the depth in the tone to tell when it's her singing and when it's the track. And you can hear right there, umbrella. She messes up the pitch. It goes a little bit flat. So what is happening here is in the TV version, which we're gonna go through in a second. Her head is moving side to side while she's going under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, right? When she pulls away from the mic, the volume stays the same and the sound stays the same. In the live version, which is what we just heard, when she moves her head away from the microphone, her voice also goes away. So this also makes the live version look super lip synced, because if you see a singer moving their head away, and they're coming back, and the audio doesn't change, something goes off in our heads. We're like, that's not right. Along with maybe the words not matching up exactly. A lot of things in our mind are like, that doesn't look right. That can't be real. And you're right, but it's not because she's not singing. You see this in pop shows all the time. Like a pop singer singing, they're dancing. There's a section where they're not going to sing. They pull the mic away. They let the backing track take over. and then they do whatever they're gonna do. In this case, you know, she's preparing to turn around to the audience. I know someone might say to this, well, she should still sing it even if she's turning away and turning to the audience or whatever it is. Don't pretend. But again, this is a very high stress environment. She's super, super high up in the air. She's live in front of millions of people and she knows it. She hasn't been on stage in 7 years. I can totally understand the reason to, you know, not finish the end of it. Because really what you're thinking in your head in those situations, people who have never been on stage or performed, is you're thinking of the next thing you need to do. And in her head, as she's finishing that last line, she's like, I need to turn to the audience now. That's part of my like choreography. This next umbrella is going to be the part where her pitch goes off. I'm gonna play you the TV version. Tell me if you can tell if it's the same performance. I'm gonna play them side by side for you actually. So one of them, if you listen very carefully and you have a good ear, the fan video, she goes way off pitch and you can very clearly hear that the pitch is going off. Perfectly fine. That's how people sing live. Sometimes the pitch is on, sometimes the pitch is off. But in the TV version, you really don't pick up on this. Huge difference. But anyway. This platform is disgusting. What is going on with this? Like, you see handprints. Is that even a footprint? I don't know what that is. There's dust all over it. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Super Bowl's budget here, but these things need to be cleaned up a little bit. What the hell is that? Oh, the other problem is she's such a good singer. Just my opinion again, that you could totally mistake her singing something live for being lip synced. And I do think a lot of this Diamonds at the end, she actually is singing live. Again, listen for the thickness in her tone here. Sky. Her voice is so quiet. This is nice, but when you hear it live, her vocals are turned way up. Like, you really get a grasp of how quiet her vocals really are. Loud backing track. Excuse me, is there someone there? I can't hear you. That's how low they had her mic turned up for the TV performance. And it doesn't sound bad, right? It sounds fine. It sounds pretty good, to be honest with you. And then we cut to the live version, and it's loud the whole way through. And way fuller. But anyway, I've ranted long enough. I think you get the idea. And I'm gonna throw this out there. I could be completely wrong. Maybe she lip synced the whole damn thing and I'm just imagining the differences.
There are probably more examples I could find for us to discuss, but for the sake of time and copyright, I'm gonna leave it at that.
But here's what we're gonna do. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Do you think that Rihanna lip synced most of the performance, or do you think that she sang most of the performance? Let me know what you think down below. Am I completely wrong? Also, be sure that you check out my Patreon. These videos get copyright claimed. I honestly don't make any money on a lot of these videos, so it's a great way to support the channel. I've also reacted to High School Musical the series over there. And I have a singing technique tier, which by the way, I've made cheaper, almost 50% cheaper, where I go into way more technical detail on singing. So I have a video on Ariana Grande I just posted there. Check it out if you're interested. Until next time, Tristans. And Tristan. Peace.